So, in fact, one documentary you got here is We Jam Econo. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a documentary that I made at a time in my career. Well, the first part of my career, it was a weird time in the 2000s. I don't know if you remember, like the .com bubble, like right at the turn of the century.
Oh, well, you being in San Jose, you had been in the center of that.
Well, I was here at that time. I was in Utah. Yeah. But it was a weird time because there was money kind of everywhere. And we were doing some cool projects in the BMX world.
Also, that was peak DVD money. I really think that was like for like skater videos and stuff. There was like a market for those, and it's a genre that almost has disappeared because it's just taken over by YouTube clips.
100%. Yeah.
You know, it used to be like you'd go to the skate shop and buy a DVD of like your favorite skater, and it'd be like come to music and be like, you know, the music rights would be like 75% of the budget, and you'd pop in your DVD with your friends and jam out. I mean, it was a wonderful time in retrospect, you know.
100%. Like
people would spend $20 on that, and the DVD cost 50 cents to make, and you know, the skate shop would take $8 and you get 10.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the genesis of what I wanted to do. It's like, you know, in high school, like I was watching skate videos like Wheels of Fire and Streets on Fire from Santa Cruz, and like Public Domain, I remember, came out when I was in high school, which was like the Powell video. And those were the things that inspired me to do, that wanted to keep, like, when I saw that, camera work suddenly became like, oh, maybe I could do that for a living and not just for fun, you know?
Yeah.
But that's actually also how I found out about the Minutemen, was through skateboard videos.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Santa Cruz video. And my friend Keith and I, we found out about the band the same day. It was really weird because this was probably in 89 and the band had not been a band since 85. And, but we both showed up in our video class at high school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, check out this band, the Minutemen, that I just discovered yesterday in this skate video. And he had discovered them completely different. He wasn't a skater. He'd read about them in Spin magazine, like his brother's old Spin magazines he was checking out. And we fell in love with the band, and we kind of couldn't believe that no one had ever done a documentary about them. And we lost, we were disconnected after high school, you know, we kind of lost touch. Mm-hmm. But then a few years later, maybe several years later, we reconnected, and he was kind of shocked to see that I was doing film stuff. And he had been working all through college. He did college radio, so he kind of had some connections in the music world. And he was like, dude, you should do a documentary about the Minutemen. And I was like, I kind of poo-pooed it. I was like, nah, I'm not the guy. I wasn't there during the scene, you know, like, but that sort of planted the seed. And then, like I was talking about earlier, where there was money everywhere in the early 2000s, like I had been working for a company doing these BMX videos. And when the .com bubble popped and that kind of money disappeared and that company I was working for imploded, and I kind of needed to make a decision. Like, am I really going to try to do this film thing, you know, when times are kind of hard and there isn't just this money everywhere to do stuff? And so I called my buddy, Keith, who had planted that seed. And I was like, hey man, I think it's time that we try to do this film. And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, what? I'm not working in film. Like, I don't even know how to do this. And and I was like, you be the producer, and let's just make this thing together. It'll just be you and me. And he was like, all right. And so I don't know, it was kind of the stuff of dreams. Like, we weren't sure we could even do the film. You know, we didn't know. Mike Watt was kind of the face of the band at that point, because the band was a trio and D. Boone was dead. Like, he died in 1985. That's how the band ended. Yeah. And so we kind of needed permission to do this film, you know? Yeah. And I remember we like checked out, because Watt was still touring, still to this day. He tours like in the same punk rock way, like in an Econo van, and he drives the country.
Jeez, he must be like 60 or 70.
Yeah, he's in his 60s now. But we checked out his tour schedule, and he was going to be coming through Salt Lake at Liquid Joe's, actually. And so the day that he was supposed to play, like, I just pulled up in the parking lot of Liquid Joe's at like 4 p.m. because I knew he'd be doing sound check at some point. And And sure enough, I saw the van pull up, and he went in and did sound check and kind of waited till he was done. And then I just approached him and introduced myself and told him what we wanted to do. And he was real protective of the story. I think people had approached him over the years, and I just told him to finish the tour. And then after his tour was over, we'd come talk to him. And if he wanted to do it, we'd do it. And if he didn't, we wouldn't. And so, fast forward a couple months at the end of the tour, we went down there and he was like, all right, like, I'm ready to tell the story. Let's do it.
Great. Well, that's exciting. Yeah. So how long did it take you to shoot? How long did it take you to edit it?
Man, I'd have to go back and look at my journals, but I'd say it was probably about a year of shooting and then maybe 6 months of editing.
Wow. Yeah. A year of shooting. Yeah. Was it like off and on again? It wasn't solid? Yeah, no, not solid at all, because we were, it was just me and Keith, and we were paying for this out of our pockets. And I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like when you grow up in a high school, my high school is big and in California, right? Like 3,500 students in my high school. And Keith and I were like the only people that knew who the Minutemen were. Like maybe there was 2 or 3 or 4 other people, but that was it. Yeah. And so we kind of felt like nobody knows who this band is. It was totally a labor of love for us, and never any expectation that like this was going to be any kind of success, But it turned out pretty good for us. Like we the premiere of the film we did in San Pedro, California, which is where the band was from, and the theater that we booked was the Warner Grand, which is like an old Victorian theater. It seats 1,500 people, and it's like 2 levels. Yeah. And the first time I saw the theater, when I walked in, I just like my heart sank, because I was like, oh my gosh, like I'll never feel this.
Yeah, like 300 people are going to show up to this.
It's like an old school big theater. Yeah.
Totally. But we sold it out.
Really? Wow.
And
for a documentary, that's astonishing.
It blew my mind. And like we had to turn people away, and then somehow, like through the network of like independent theaters, like that kind of like people found out about that. And so indie theaters all over the country and all over the world started calling us. They're like, hey, we want to book your film. And so for a year, we toured the film around the world in the US, and we made back the hard costs just on the theatrical, so that when we did the DVD deal with Plexifilm, like we actually made a little bit of money, which was kind of mind-blowing to me.
No, that is amazing. I mean, the first time you like make money from a project that you actually like doing is really just, you're like, wow, this is like free money.
It was mind-blowing. And the other part of it too was it was a real career starter, I think, in a lot of ways, even though I was 5 years into my career at that point, but everyone in the skateboard world saw that film. And so instantaneously, like I had some connections there. And people at Fuel TV, which was a channel owned by Fox Sports that was all action sports. Yeah. Guys over there saw it. And so there was kind of this instant credibility that we had from that, which was amazing.
No, that's great. Please like and subscribe, because it makes my assistant super happy. She's a really nice woman, and whenever we get a new subscriber, we notice it and we're pumped. Makes me happy too. We've had over 50,000 views in the past month and a half, but we would love to have more subscribers, so please subscribe.